won't get caught.
Your confidence overwhelms me. But this is hardly the time to take chances.
Yesterday was a bad scare. It won't happen again, I promise.
Then let me ask you this. Why carved animals?
Well, I have a collection.
Animals only?
Mm-hmm.
How many different kinds are there?
Well, I have an elephant and an elk and a deer and monkeys and 2 unicorns and a bear and...
No tigers?
No, not yet.
Then let me make a deal with you. If you promise to stay indoors, I'll try and find you a very special ivory tiger with emerald eyes. Would you like that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good. Now, I wonder if you'd mind making us some coffee.
Of course.
We just have a little business to discuss.
Okay. Thank you for being so understanding.
You know your part. Just honor it.
I will.
I'd like to thank you as well, David.
Forget it. We've got more important things to worry about.
You mean you're talking about the trial run?
How close are we?
I'd say very close.
Good. Because this rehearsal is the most important step thus far. We must know exactly what we're doing. We both know there's no margin for error.
And I wonder if you realize just how serious this charge is.
Steve, I am fully aware of what I'm doing.
Your past problems with Dr. Bradshaw are common knowledge. I trust this isn't an extension of those feelings.
No, sir, they're not. I just want to report what I saw.
All right, sit down. You two, Audrey. And before you say anything more, I think you should know that your testimony alone is not enough to prove negligence.
I know that. That's why I'm here. I feel if you believe me, then you'll be able to gather the evidence better than I.
Whether I believe you is not the issue. You're a very honest person. I would never doubt that. But it's my job to evaluate facts.
Then I will tell you what I saw, Steve. Dr. Bradshaw was tired and working too quickly. He cut Ruby's artery because of negligence on his part and nothing else.
Anne, do you know what this is?
No, I don't.
It's the surgical report on Ruby's operation. I've read it several times over, and while it's not normal procedure, I want you to take a look at it. See anything interesting?
The second paragraph.
The surgical error was reported by both attending surgeons, Dr. Drake and Dr. Bradshaw. Both used the word accident repeatedly.
That doesn't make it acceptable, Steve.
Of course it doesn't, but there was no effort to try and cover up. And if they do admit a mistake, who are we? Who am I? To launch a vendetta against them.
Steve, this is not a vendetta. How can I make you understand? Dr. Bradshaw is not fit to be a surgeon. He's never been operating.
Sit down, Anne. Now, I'm sure you're quite acquainted with Dr. Bradshaw's record. Hundreds of successful operations.
Yes, in the past, maybe, but something is wrong with him now. I'm telling you, Steve. He is overtired. He is too hasty. He is not requesting second opinions. He is not ordering the proper test.
In your opinion, he's not doing these things?
No, look at the record. Look at Ruby's care.
I already have. And according to this, he's ordered all the tests, the necessary tests, and they were conducted.
Excuse me, sir, but that's not what I heard.
It's in the report, Anne, and it was signed by both doctors. I repeat, by both doctors.
That still does not excuse what happened in OR, Steve. That accident should never have happened.
You're right, it shouldn't have happened. Where human life is concerned, accidents should never happen.
Then?
But they do. Accidents do happen, Anne. Even to the finest surgeons. After all, Dr. Bradshaw is just as human as the patient he's operating on.
You're not going to do anything about this?
I didn't say that. He came to me with a very heartfelt plea. To satisfy my conscience and your concern, I'll certainly look into the matter.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by to see me with your problem. That's what I'm here for.
I will keep that in mind.
And Anne,
Yes.
I understand how you feel about Ruby Anderson. But in the future, try to keep a little more distance between yourself and your patient. That way, if something like this happens again, you won't be so emotionally involved.
I'll try.
That's all I ask for.
Ah, good. You're here.
Yes, my father said 2 o'clock.
Oh, and you're 2 minutes early. Perfect.
Alan, you're late.
Randall just said I was early.
Well, 2 minutes according to my Quartz Digital.
Well, 5 minutes late according to my wind-up.
What does it matter?
Well, it matters a great deal. Your mother's going to be here any moment, and you still have to meet Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah, come into my office.
Thank you.
Alan, I don't believe that you have met Charlotte Hepworth.
No, I don't think so. Hello?
We met years ago once. I think you were still in diapers, if I remember correctly.
Charlotte was one of your mother's oldest friends.
I've been living on the West Coast for some time now, but finally I decided to come back for a visit.
I see. That's wonderful. Would you excuse us for a moment, please, Miss Hepworth? Is this why you brought me here?
Well, partially. I expect your mother any moment.
Oh. Are we going to have tea then? It's a lovely thought. Have you taken leave of your senses? I have patients waiting for me at the hospital.
This won't take long.
What won't take long?
But, Alan, something is wrong with your mother. Now, we've just let it go by in the past, but, well, things are getting out of hand.
What are you talking about?
Her forgetfulness. Her memory is deteriorating at a phenomenal rate.
Not any more quickly than your mind.
Alan, believe me, she doesn't remember the most obvious things.
Oh, she'll remember me. We used to have the most wonderful times in Palm Beach.
Well, don't be too sure, my dear. I mean, I think you're going to notice quite a startling change in Lila. Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Mrs. Quartermain is here.
Oh, well, send her in. Hepworth? Alan?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, hello, dear.
Lila, darling, look who's here. It's Charlotte. Charlotte Hepworth?
From Palm Beach. Don't you remember?
Oh, Charlotte, of course. Oh, darling, you've let your hair grow longer. That's why I hardly recognized you at first.
Wearing it like this in California.
Yes, I heard you moved there. Oh, it's wonderful to see you again. Now, come along. I want to hear everything that's happened to you. And how's that husband of yours?
Oh, as nasty as ever. I left him in California.
Remember those bridge games in Palm Beach with Ethel and Francis? You were such a good player.
Lila, what on earth are you talking about? You couldn't possibly remember such things.
Well, of course I remember, dear. They were wonderful days, weren't they, Charlotte?
Thanks to the sherry.
What's going on here now? You couldn't possibly
You must
remember.
forgive Edward, dear Charlotte. His memory, I'm afraid, is not as good as it used to be.
I don't believe this.
Neither do I. With respect, ladies, what am I doing here? I didn't come here to reminisce with your old cronies.
Charlotte is not my old crony.
She's my old crony. You must lunch with me today, dear, because we've got a lot of things to discuss over old times and that.
Lila, you don't even know the woman.
Oh, Edward, what a silly thing to say. Of course I know her, Charlotte.
Oh,
dear
Lila, you
Charlotte.
have never met her before in your life. Now admit it.
Edward, you know, dear, I'm really very worried about you. Last night you forgot your reading glasses, this morning your briefcase, and now you've forgotten dear Charlotte.
Well, this is preposterous.
Dear Edward, please relax. I mean, all this aggravation is only going to make things much worse for you. Come along, Charlotte. We have so much catching up to do.
You know, you don't look at all well. Do you want to sit down?
Alan, this can't be.
What?
Well, I mean, she thought she knew the woman.
She does know the woman. She's a friend, isn't she?
Alan, your mother has lost her mind. I mean, really has lost her mind.
I'll meet you in the lobby in a few minutes, dear. You know, Randall, it was very silly of Mr. Quartermain to think that he could trick me in this way.
What way is that, Mrs. Quartermain?
He seems to forget that I've seen a great deal more theater in this town than he has.
You're referring to Miss Hepworth.
Randall, Tell him that next time he hires an actress, he should try to find a more obscure one. I've been a fan of Miss Hepworth's for years now, ever since she was in the theater in New York and long before she retired and came to live here.
Well, you can't really blame Mr. Quartermain for trying.
No, you're right, Randall. I suppose I can't. But he's going to have to get up a lot earlier in the morning to put one over on me. Good day, Randall. Bye-bye, Edward.
It's Dr. Drake to see you, Dr. Hardy.
Well, thank you. Come in, Noah. Sit down.
I bet I know what this is all about.
What?
Behind my paperwork, right?
Thanks for reminding me, but this is much more important. I think you'll agree. I've been reviewing Ruby Anderson's operation, and I need your candid opinion on a few things.
Yeah, sure.
Just this once. Just this once. Let's forget about the doctor's loyalty code and speak frankly, doctor to doctor. In your own words, I'd like to hear your evaluation of Ruby's surgery.
Well, it's, the whole procedure's detailed in the report, Steve.
And the problems. But that's not what I want to know about.
You want to know what I thought of Bradshaw's performance?
Yes.
He made a mistake, but I believe he's the first one to admit it.
I know. He never attempted to make excuses in the report. I admired that. But I want to know from you is, what do you think of his competence right now?
He's an excellent surgeon. I don't really know what else to say.
You still have confidence in him? No?
Yes. For the time being, I still have confidence in him.
I'm trusting you to have this precisely determined.
David, it is all taken care of.
Is there any margin for error?
None. Every angle has to be perfect to achieve the right effect.
How's the apparatus coming along?
Well, the beam is not up to maximum strength yet, and that is a big concern of mine. And since the distance must be exact, right down to the millimeter, I'm going to remove one pane and have the apparatus protrude out just slightly.
Isn't that a bit risky?
No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's really going to notice. And that's what we got to do if we want to achieve optimum resolution.
I see. Are you still on schedule?
Oh, yeah, everything's fine at my end. It's just that what you've got to remember is that the project has to take place precisely at 10:30. Any other time, and the sun is going to reflect right back into the lens.
Well, what happens then?
Well, the whole illusion is destroyed.
Don't worry, it'll be 10:30. You worry about your responsibility, I'll take care of mine.
The equipment will be ready. Everything will be in perfect shape.
Good. Don't forget about your other responsibility either.
Laura?
Yes, Laura. It's your job to keep her away from her sister. Those two friends of Jackie's could prove fatal to the project.
I'll keep an eye on her.
I don't want her to know anything about the project. I want her in the dark from beginning to the end. That means right through the trial run and the main event. You understand?
Yeah.
Good. I'll see you Friday at the antique store.
Oh, sure, and I'll bring the pictures of the tigers.
See you then.
Okay. You heard?
Every word.
If I'm late?
Oh, actually, I thought I was early.
Slow day?
Are you kidding? I have more patients than I know what to do with.
I can get one of the residents to help you with the workload.
No, that won't be necessary. I appreciate the thought. As a matter of fact, I enjoy having a lot of patients.
I ask why.
Well, it pays the bills. That was a joke, Steve.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Well, I assume that you asked me here to have coffee to discuss something.
Mm-hmm. The Ruby Anderson operation?
She's making an excellent recovery.
Yes, I know, but that's not what I wanted to discuss.
Oh?
You see, I was going over the weekly surgical reports, and a surgical error was reported by both you and Dr. Drake.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
In the report, it said that the iliac artery was cut, but there was no reason given.
Well, I was making my last incision. Something happened to my glasses, and my vision was impaired, and my scalpel hit a clamp and slipped.
Severing the artery.
Yeah. It was only a moment of danger, and we stopped the bleeding almost immediately.
However, the report stated that you ordered more blood.
It was Dr. Drake's idea, just to be on the safe side.
Arthur, let me put a hypothetical question to you. Had you been more relaxed the day you operated on Ruby, would this accident have happened?
I told you, my vision was impaired. It could have happened to anybody.
But you already had an emergency that morning, 2 the night before, and you were faced with a full day of cases.
That was no problem.
But it could have been one, couldn't it? Arthur, while I admire your devotion to the job, I must insist you take a few days off.
But that's not possible.
You're tired, Arthur. It's very apparent to me and to the rest of the staff. Now, I can't have a doctor operating who's not 100%.
Steve, I don't know what I'd do with a few days off.
Why don't you go home and visit your family?
But you don't have... Look, I have a full caseload scheduled.
Dr. Drake will cover for you.
He's got his own patients to worry about.
We have plenty of doctors here, Arthur. There won't be any problem.
But, Arthur...
You're going home for 4 or 5 days, and that's that. And I won't listen to any more arguments.
Steve?
And?
Dr. Bradshaw? There doesn't seem to be any empty seats available. You mind if I sit with you?
No, don't.
Thank you. Food is great.
Terrible, and you know it.
Just trying to make conversation, Doctor.
After what happened this morning, I'm surprised you want to do anything with me.
That's why I sat down. I would like to apologize about what happened this morning. You're right. There should be no tension in the operating room.
I'm glad you realize that. I'm sorry for having your assignment changed without discussing it with you first.
It's okay, I understand.
Eat your tuna.
Terrible. I talked to Steve about Ruby's surgery. All the reports are checked and everything is in order.
Yes, I checked on it too.
I feel like an idiot.
Don't.
I convinced myself that Bradshaw was some sort of criminal and it wasn't right. It wasn't right to attack him either.
Then this is over.
Yes? Do you forgive me?
Absolutely not.
Thanks a lot.
Of course I do.
I sure would like to work with you again.
Don't worry about it. I think we can arrange that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Laura, why don't we forget about David for a minute, and why don't you tell me why you didn't say you saw your sister?
I was afraid to.
You saw David also, and you didn't mention it.
I don't know how he found me. I was so careful.
Laura, who were those guys that David said were with Jackie?
I don't know.
Cops?
I said I don't know. But at least David was pretty cool about it. And he still thinks I can't remember.
Yeah, well, that's not necessarily true. David can put on that Mr. Nice Guy image whenever he wants to.
Yeah, but don't you think if he was going to do something, he would have already done it?
Well, that's not necessarily true. Look, David knows a lot more about this than he admits. He still is a big threat to both of us.
That's right. The plans are moving ahead for the trial run. Soon. More time is needed to perfect the equipment for the main event, which means we'll have to keep the photographer and his girlfriend happy for as long as possible. Well, after that, well, everyone is expendable. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah.
mistake of his life when he misunderstands the motives of a visiting nun. Then Henry has to become a detective when a mysterious fan letter leads to the theft of the cosmic cow on Too Close for Comfort. Damien finds an important clue. Can it free Gavin? Watch The Edge of Night following FYI with Hal Linden next on ABC. Mistake of his life when he misunderstands the motives of a visiting nun. Then Henry has to become a detective when a mysterious fan letter leads to the theft of the cosmic cow on Too Close for Comfort. Damien finds an important clue. Can it free Gavin? Watch The Edge of Night following FYI with Hal Linden next on ABC. His life when he misunderstands the motives of a visiting nun. Then Henry has to become a detective when a mysterious fan letter leads to the theft of the cosmic cow on Too Close for Comfort. Damien finds an important clue. Can it free Gavin? Watch The Edge of Night following FYI with Hal Linden next on ABC. It's the mistake of his life when he misunderstands the motives of a visiting nun. Then Henry has to become a detective when a mysterious fan letter leads to the theft of the cosmic cow on Too Close for Comfort. Damien finds an important clue. Can it free Gavin? Watch The Edge of Night following FYI with Hal Linden next on ABC.